The Mesa Chamber of Commerce Inside Business Podcast brings you a unique view of Mesa through its vibrant business community and the subjects that are important. The podcast is produced in the Mesa Chamber of Commerce Media Studio, sponsored by the University of Phoenix. Our podcast is hosted by Mesa Chamber of Commerce CEO Sally Harrison. Please enjoy this episode of the Mesa Chamber Inside Business Podcast.
Hi, I'm Sally Harrison, the President and CEO of the Mesa Chamber of Commerce. And today in the podcast studio, we have Phaedra Earhart from Mesa Leadership.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yes, and graduation's coming.
Woo!
Yeah,
it's been a great ride, actually.
Well, let's talk about that, because Mesa Leadership means a lot of things to a lot of different people. It's I don't even know, what year are we in? Do you know? Are you class of 35?
We're 2022.
And class of what?
Oh gosh, like 35?
35th, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. We have a great book of alumni.
You've had a long run.
Yeah, we have. So, talk about class. Let's talk about the classes themselves, because every month is a different subject.
Sure.
Yeah. So, what's your favorites?
Oh, my favorites. We've had a few. I will say, fairly recently, we've had fire and PD.
Yeah, Public Safety Day.
Yes, it was Public Safety Day, and we got to go to their training facility, and it was everything I could imagine it would be.
Yeah.
It was interesting hearing from the chiefs. They came in and spoke with us, and just showing their leadership style and so much more respect for, not that I didn't have it before, but just seeing everyone in person, and just the amount of respect I have now for our police force and our fire.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they do out there. And then we got to do all the things. We got to go on, extract someone from a building with the SWAT team.
Nice.
I know. It was stressful. In our little play situation, it was very stressful. And they're dealing with that every day.
Right.
My favorite was riding in the car around the lot with them and doing like their
test drive thing.
That was the best. It was like a roller coaster. It was just, I had so much fun laughing the whole time. So that's probably one of my favorites. We recently did House of Refuge. That's always good to see them in action, and it always is a good reminder to go and donate to them, you know.
Right.
And then the MAC was another one, Mesa Arts Center.
Yeah, the behind the scenes tours of these places are it's very special.
Yeah, it really is. And just learning all about Mesa. It's been a real joy, this program has.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how many are in your class? It's a small class.
We started out with 17, and then we had 4 drop out because of just personal reasons. You know, things happen, stuff like that. So we're down to 13.
Been a couple of years like that.
Has it?
Well, as far as just people, you know, having personal things happen.
Sure.
A lot of family members.
Yeah, life happens, right?
Yeah.
And, we started out so small because we were coming off of COVID.
Right.
So they wanted to keep it small.
Sure.
And then, you know, losing those 4 people. But in actuality, it really made our class that much stronger. And we really, really bonded because we got to know each other so well.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Talk about your ride-alongs. I know you've done them all.
I've done them all.
Which is good. And it's smart because it gives you the opportunity to, you know, see what's happening.
Right.
Not everybody gets to do all 4. So talk about those 4.
Okay. So first it was code compliance. And it was a special day because they all teamed up, and one person from the department once a year picks an area of the street where we walk down and we really look for, people who are out of compliance. And then they they issue them just a warning and saying, you know, clean this up. And then they bring in a huge trash bin to help them, you know, and help clean that stuff up. So I got to do that, and that was really interesting. Then next was Parks and Rec, and Parks and Rec was so different than I even thought it would be. It is a lot of just making sure the parks are clean and that families are having a good time. And my ranger, he loved his job. He he enjoyed every minute. He's a real outdoorsy guy. So it's the best job in the world to him.
Very cool.
So we drove around a while, and that was great. Then I did PD, and that was amazing. I was with a female officer there, and she had the most gentle spirit, and she really could take situations that were, you know, becoming a little more elevated and tempers flaring, and she just had a way of calming people down. So cool. That was awesome to see her leadership style, you know. And
did you have any special calls that you went on?
we went on a couple of code 3s, and so that we got to, we
And
turned
a
on
code
the,
3 is
a turn on the siren, and that's when you see them, going through the stoplights very carefully. And so nothing crazy, we did go on a mental health call and another, actually 2 mental health calls. So and that was predominantly the day, really right there.
Okay.
So with fire, we went on a couple of calls as well. It was really interesting. They were so accommodating, of course, friendly, firemen, they're friendly.
Yes.
And so I went on a couple calls with them. One was, thought they smelled smoke. One was a car wreck.
Oh.
And we ended up going to the hospital for that one too. So
That's great.
just an interesting days. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had the curse of the ride along with fire. Since then I've gone on others, but we had a oven fire, which they could have just shut the oven and then we had a false alarm.
Oh, right.
And so I got to hear a lot of great stories sitting having lunch with them, but
right. You didn't hear,
Yeah.
you didn't get to experience it.
Yeah, we've had different people in different year classes that one guy was there when they delivered a baby, when
wow.
PD delivered a baby years ago. Yeah.
That would be crazy.
cool
Yeah,
ride-alongs,
that is
yeah.
cool ride along. Yeah.
Very cool.
But in addition to the ride alongs, just getting to see the back end of like how traffic works in Mesa.
Yeah.
That was so interesting. That was one of the first things we did. Was one of the first
That's
tours
cool.
we had. Yeah. And just all the different charitable organizations, and we've only visited a handful of them, but
Yeah.
there's so many
Oh, there
in
are.
Mesa, and they're all doing awesome work.
Yeah.
And we got to volunteer there, and that's another thing that's really brought us closer is that volunteering aspect
Sure.
in our class project too.
So talk about the class project,
Okay.
because I know that you guys just completed it.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
So it was with Child Crisis Center of Arizona, and they have a foster home here in Mesa, and it houses 10 boys. And unfortunately, once kids reach a certain age, their likelihood of being adopted it gets lower and lower,
Sure.
and especially for boys. So most likely these young boys are going to be living out the rest of their days in this home. And they really just started this program, the foster home, maybe in 2019, I believe it was. And they it was the basics. They didn't really have anything special. It didn't feel like home. It felt like a house, that they lived
Yeah.
in. So Holly Mosley, she actually brought it to us, and we voted on a couple of different projects, and that was the one we picked.
Yep.
And it's been so joyous to help these boys out, in any way we can. So we were raising money. We were getting in-kind donations. So we redid their backyard. That was the main goal. And it kind of morphed into, okay, let's redo their bedrooms now. Oh, wait, we've got a couple of couches that are being donated from Potato Barn. And we
Nice.
also had a gentleman who built a farmhouse table for us for their dining room.
Oh my gosh.
So it really morphed into so much more.
That's awesome.
And so we turfed their backyard, we repaved it, and that was a lot of sweat equity we put into that first day getting all that out.
But doesn't it feel good to actually have hands-on, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, instead of just raising money and paying for it to be done. I
Right.
think that brings the class together.
It did. It brought us close together because it was a hard day. I was exhausted at the end of it, and luckily we had some guys with big muscles too,
Yeah.
helping us out. But yeah, we really put a lot of sweat equity into it. We painted their rooms. We planted some flower beds, and it
that's
looks
cool.
wonderful back there. And also, I would have to be remiss if I didn't call out American Furniture Warehouse, and they donated $3,000 in gift cards for us to buy patio furniture,
That's
umbrellas, all that stuff. Yeah,
Very cool.
So generous, and decor for their rooms. We put inspirational signs all up over the house.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I've seen some pictures. So how many boys are in there now?
10.
10?
Boys is the max they can have.
And how were they when they got the keys to their house?
It's funny because they're boys, and they don't
Yeah.
talk a whole lot. A couple of them actually came out to help us that first day. That
Oh,
was really
that's cool.
special. Yes.
Yeah.
And but what we've heard kind of after the fact that they're delighted.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just to have that yard to hang out in. We put up lights, and it just
Nice.
feels like home
Good for
now.
them.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I think I hear a woodpecker. we have a resident woodpecker
It
that
does
comes
sound like
and
that.
goes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so graduation is in April or
It
May?
is upon us. Yes, it's in April.
End of April.
End of April,
Uh-huh.
26-ish, something like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we're looking
Good.
forward to that.
And you'll show some pictures, I assume, from your party.
Yes. So Lori Marsh, who we are co-project leads, her and I are, and we're going to be presenting to the board first, and then we're going to be presenting at graduation.
Awesome.
Just all the work we did. And Denise Seaman, who's also one of our graduates, she put together, she's our historian.
Okay.
So she put together a video for especially our donors
Very
to show
cool.
them what we've done.
That's
and that's an
cool.
awesome video. It's up actually on the page right now. So if anyone wanted to check that out.
Okay, and what page is that?
So that is mesaleadership.org. And then you click on the current class. And then if you click on that current class page, then it's right at the top. Can't miss
Awesome.
it.
Okay. All right, well, let's talk about something else that's going on in your life.
Okay.
Because you have a new job starting
I
Monday.
do. I'm
That's
so
exciting.
excited about it.
And I'm so excited because you told me it's with one of our chamber members.
It is Gateway Restoration. They are a chamber member, and I
Yeah.
was really excited to find out they were too, because I've just been so ingrained in all things Mesa the past
Yeah.
10 months that I was like, oh my gosh, it's a perfect fit,
That's
you know?
awesome.
And the program running through the chamber, I'm just gonna slide right in.
So what's your role there? I know it's a cool title.
It is Professional Relationship Officer, and that's what I'm all about.
That's
relationships.
awesome. Well, good for you. I'm
Thank you.
excited. So you'll have to come back and
I'll let you know how that's
Yeah.
going, and you'll see me around. So
we're excited.
Yeah.
Anything else going on?
Not so much. I'm like I said, I'm excited about the job. They have, all the values that I hold near and dear to my heart. They hold near and dear to theirs,
Good.
and they have a huge community give back. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking
Good.
forward to getting into that too.
Good. Well, if anybody's listening for next year's class, they'll have to hit you up.
Yeah. So one more thing, since you asked. So I'm on the board of the Oakwood.
Yes,
Yeah.
another chamber member.
Yep, Oakwood Creative Care. And I am starting up the Auxiliary Angels again after a couple year hiatus. And we're kind of the fundraising arm for Oakwood Creative Care.
Right.
So if anyone's looking to get involved in Oakwood, I'm looking for committee members right now.
Why don't you talk about what Oakwood is?
Okay.
Some people know, but not everybody.
Okay, not everyone, and I just assume everyone knows. So they are a day center with people for people with cognitive challenges. So dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson, and we're a place where a loved one can drop them off, and they can spend a day in really pure joy, is what I call it.
It is.
They spark joy,
Yeah.
and I think it's one of those things, like when you think about those cognitive challenges, the brain is deteriorating. The last thing to go is that creative side, or one of the last things. And that's what Oakwood does,
Right.
is we spark that creative side in them, because there's tons of art programs there.
Right.
And they get to make decisions too.
Yeah.
Lots of decisions are being taken away from them at this point in their life. We give them decisions. What do you want to do? You want to woodwork? Do you want to work in the garden? Or do you want to just have a seat here,
Right.
and hang out?
Right.
And that's what Oakwood is about.
Yeah.
And it's really about keeping them at home longer, because care is so expensive.
Sure.
And if we can keep them at home longer, that's saving the family, keeping the family together, and also saving them a lot of money too.
That's awesome. Very cool. Okay, so Mesa Leadership is at mesaleadership.org.
MesaLeadership.org.
Okay.
Go to current class. Also, they're taking applications right now for
Yes,
the
they are.
2023.
Yes.
Highly encourage anyone that is looking into stepping into more of a leadership role, get involved. It's been one of the, I think, top 10 things I've done in like my life. And I'm
awesome.
getting older. So
Well, that's awesome, because really you do learn so much about the community.
yeah, and
Yeah.
the bonding that happens, and we'll be together. We're gonna do things on a quarterly basis. My group is. So,
That's so cool.
yeah, we'll stay
Well,
together.
good. Well, thanks for being here.
Thank
for
you.
spending the morning with me, and for the update about Mesa Leadership.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Pleasure to be here. Thank
Yeah,
you,
Thank
Sally.
you.
This has been a Mesa Chamber of Commerce Inside Business podcast. You can find all podcast episodes at iTunes, Spotify, or your own favorite podcast website. You can also find them online at mesachamber.org. Content of this podcast is copyright the Mesa Chamber of Commerce, unless otherwise noted.